my name's Brianna, and I'll be sharing my trauma story. This is part 2. If you haven't been following me, go back and look at part 1 on TikTok or Facebook, Brianna Devers. Instagram is speaking loud against abuse _97. Okay, so the weekend of my sister's first birthday, I went over to my dad's and just kept crying, didn't want to be there. So my dad told me to call my mother to come get me and made me wait outside in 38-degree weather. I didn't get to see my father again until I was 12. So now we're going back up, now we're going to back up. So I'm living with my mother and my stepfather. My cousin is staying with us for the summer, and nobody knows until I'm about 12 or maybe 11, I don't know. When my cousin tells me my stepdad had ripped her towel off and RAP'd her, taking her innocence. I can't remember, she was like 15, maybe she was 17, I can't remember for sure the age, but anyway, so around this time is when I told my mother and my stepfather that my dad touched me. And then one night I'm sleeping in my stepfather and mother's bed. I can't remember if my mother was there. I think this may have been when my mother was working overnights. My stepfather started touching my private parts, and the next day as we're sitting on the couch, he asked me if it felt good. Anyway, during this time, sometimes I'd be babysat by Dee's parents, and his dad always thought it'd be funny to pull my hair, and sometimes until I would cry. When I was 9, my great aunt Pam adopted me for Christmas. I remember taking a picture in front of the Christmas tree in my pink PJs as my stepfather calls me fat. At 9 years old, I was not fat. And that's just part of the verbal abuse that he did. You know, he did it to my mother too. He called her names, and I would, if he wanted SEX, then he would just do it, even if she didn't want to. There's also much I know that my brain has blocked out, but so from 9 to 12, I dealt with quite a bit of verbal abuse and some physical abuse, as well as watching my mother be abused by my stepfather, mostly verbal. And also he would abuse animals, like kick them, you know, stuff like that. One time when I was 9 or 10, they were fighting, and I begged my mother to leave him and just go to my grandparents, but she stayed. When I was 11, my stepfather and mother were fighting. My mother is in my room, and I have no idea what it's about, but Dee choked her, my stepfather. And I tried to jump on him. He threw me off onto my bed, and my head went into the wall, cracking the wall. When Dee left the room, he told my mother, because she had a cheeseburger, he hoped she choked on it and called her the B word. Another time, Dee choked me and lifted me against the wall. I don't remember why, but I was 11. Then, not long after, we moved into a house, and my mother wasn't home. This is actually one of the many times Dee would play out physically a RAP situation and tell me what to do if it ever happened to me, and it was sick. One of the times he literally pushed his private parts up against my private parts when I had a skirt on. And I think that's going to be it for part 2, but I just want to add that, you know, this stuff is not normal, and if you're going through anything like this as a teenager, as a child watching this, or even an adult that has experienced this, this is not normal, and everybody needs to quit protecting the abusers. I know it's easier. I understand that, but that is just letting them get away with it. And personally, my whole life, I've been molested by 3 different men, and I wasn't the only one. And so now obviously I have this complex, like, oh, is people not going to believe me? Because my mother didn't want to believe me. Of course, right? Oh, you're just a girl who cried wolf. My father said that to me before. Oh, you're just a girl who cried wolf. No one's going to believe you. So, but I'll get to that more in detail in the next couple parts. So if you are being abused, I just want you to know that I'm here for you. If you need someone to talk to, you can reach out to me, Brianna Devers, on Facebook, or I'm going to put in the comments my username for Instagram and Threads, or you can message me on here. But I just hope you know you're not alone, and I hope this helps someone to speak up against their abuser. So if you watched, thank you, and I will let you guys know when I will be doing part 3.